trio of co-hosts, Andrea Beeman, Lisa Lutan, and Michelle Fennighaus. Today, you'll learn what it takes to be healthy and happy within a stressful world from 3 experts walking their talk. Here is Lisa, Andrea, and Michelle.
Welcome to Healthy View Radio. I'm Lisa Lutan. I'm here today with my 2 inspirational and wise co-hosts, Andrea Beeman and Michelle Fennighaus. I'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsor, Mountain Rose Herbs, because you may not know this about me. You guys might not even know this about me, but I am a tea fanatic, herbal tea. When my clients arrive at my office, there's always tea waiting for them, and I drink herbal tea year-round, whether it's hot or cold. And not only do I love the taste of tea, I love the ritual of tea. I have some tea right here. I always have a little teacup with me. I like it as an afternoon break. I like it for dessert after dinner. I even pour some in my water bottle to give it a little kick. And honestly, it helps me never feel deprived, which is something we're going to be focusing on the show today in a little bit. This is a little secret, but now that my kids are gone and I've gotten my husband off of all of our crappy snacks, I have an entire shelf in my pantry dedicated to all my tea bags and supplies. And this, I swear, I kid you not. And the teas from Mountain Rose are what's in the front row right now, just like these little bags that I can show you. Right now, I know it's not winter, but I'm drinking Winter Spice because I like it has a real chai kind of taste. I love like cinnamon in there. And what's so cool about their teas is they start like one flavor and they kind of evolve into different flavors, and they take you on a little journey guessing like, what's that spice? What's that spice? And I have found this with lots of their teas. So I urge you to go try them. You can just go to their website, mountainroseherbs.com. You can hit /HVR for Healthy View Radio. But whatever you do, just go check them out. I think you're going to love them.
Oh, they're totally going to love them.
Oh, you got one too, Andrea. I do the herbal coffee tea, but I did it iced.
Oh, yum.
Yeah, it's like herbs. It doesn't taste exactly like coffee, but it has that like a coffee-ish aroma. It's lovely.
I was wondering what that black liquid was.
Yeah, I just did it out in the sun, like sun tea.
I drank some. What?
What's sun tea?
Dude, it's like
energy
efficient way to make tea. Just put tea in a bottle with some water. You stick it outside in the sun.
I never knew that.
What?
Oh my God. I've been living I have this little thing that I pull. It's like an instant hot water thing on my faucet. And my dad was British, so we had one growing up because he always had to drink his tea. So I never made sun tea. You learn something new every day on Healthy View Radio.
That's the way it works.
Well, our topic today is weight loss without deprivation, and we're going to be speaking later with Mary Bray, who's the author of the best-selling book, The Swiss Chocolate Diet, a little bit later. But yummy. I want to share, I remember being at a birthday party not that long ago for an adult, not for a kid, and there was this big plate of whoopie pies. And at the time, I was totally off sugar, and I had zero interest in the whoopie pies. And this woman next to me whispered, "It's terrible to deprive yourself all the time, Lisa." And I responded, "I don't feel the least bit deprived, or I wouldn't be able to do this. In fact, I feel quite awesome." And I think that's what it comes down to. If we feel deprived, no eating plan or diet is going to last. Right, you guys?
I agree. Deprivation is horrifying, and it'll keep you yo-yoing up and down on the scale all the time. I remember when I was a chronic dieter, I always deprived myself of something. Fat, this, that, and the other thing. You can't have this. You can't have that. You can't, right? As soon as you can't have something, it becomes the golden cow, right? The thing that you have to have. The chocolate cake. Oh, I'm not allowed to have the chocolate cake. Then, of course, you're dreaming about chocolate cake. You eat your pillow in the middle of the night thinking about chocolate cake. Or you wake up the next day, chocolate cake. So if you give yourself permission to eat anything, just see how it makes you feel and how it makes you feel in your body, then I think the deprivation goes away, the deprivation factor.
Yeah, absolutely. Every client I have, I think it's just human nature. You can't have it, so you want it. Even if it's like that hot guy, whatever it is, you can't have it, so you want it. Like this is just how humans are. So we have to acknowledge that and not try to set ourselves up for failure.
Yeah, totally. But, I think one thing that people also don't realize is that when you do eat healthier and healthier, foods that you used to want so much, you don't want as much anymore. And so they look at other people not eating these foods and they go, they have so much willpower, but it's not about willpower at all. It's
Yeah.
about really, nourishing your body and giving your body what it wants and needs. And it does change. And that's what I think that's what was so fascinating for me as I got older, because I was that I'm going on a diet, get the biggest piece of chocolate cake I can get my hands on tonight because tomorrow I can't have it. And I know a lot of people out there can relate to that. But now it's like, ugh, why would I want to do that? That's just not going to feel good at all.
That's so funny. Whenever I go to kids' birthday parties, at least nowadays, they have these elaborate cakes that are like coated with frosting that's like this thick and, weird colors that would never happen in nature. And
I love those cakes.
actually, the frosting always makes my stomach hurt, but the inside I can eat. So I'll always like when those cakes come and they have the thick layer of, because it's not a real buttercream frosting. It's like some kind of whipped lardo.
It's disgusting. Yeah.
It's disgusting. If it was buttercream, I would eat it, but it's not.
All right. Confession, I would skip the cake and just eat the frosting.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's just not good frosting. I agree with Andrea. If it's good, I always make my own frosting. I was thinking I'm going to do a cooking class and teach people how to bake cakes and make frosting. It's not health food, but it is way better for you than the stuff that comes in a little jar with all the fake.
Well, I'm not eating that. I'm eating like.
That's what you're getting when you get
No. I go to good bakeries with really good. Trust me, they charge you a fortune for their frosting. It's really good frosting. I'm very particular about my frosting.
Because I mean, that stuff's it's not helping anybody's weight loss to eat a pound of buttercream. I don't want to, put that out there, but it's different than the cascading effects that come along with the real fake ingredients found in some of that stuff.
Totally.
Yeah.
So what would make you feel deprived if you couldn't have it?
Oh, that's actually a really good question.
Thank you.
I would feel deprived without Healthy View Radio every week to listen to. I don't know with food, like sugar is not a thing for me anymore. Like, I definitely would have felt deprived without my Oreos and ice cream years ago. That would be okay. But I think, I think gluten and dairy are tough ones. And some people really need to stay away from those things. I am moderate. I eat all types of foods, including junk food sometimes. But I would say that if I had to, like if I found out I had celiac disease, it would be really difficult to exclude 100% all the time.
For me, deprivation is more about people than food. So like if I, like you could take away any food from me, it's just food. But if I can't see my nephews or if I can't have a conversation with people that I love, that makes me feel isolated, right? That because I'm a social person with my people in my circle. So, Omar Cumberbatch, remember we had him on our show. He didn't make his bed.
Yeah, totally.
I was on his podcast the other day and he asked a very interesting question. He said, if you had your last meal, if you were on death row, and your last meal, what would it be? And I didn't think of food. I thought of people.
That's a meal.
Not to eat people.
That's a different episode.
I thought you guys can bring me anything if I'm on death row. Anything. Just make sure that I'm surrounded by the people that I love, right? Because that's what I want as I'm heading out of the world, right? I want to make sure that my relationships are good, that I love the people in my life, that we have this bond. It's just I don't know. I don't think about food the way I used to think about food 25 years ago. I think of it more as a secondary thing.
Which is so awesome. You're clearly more evolved than we are.
Oh, I'm an alien.
I strive to be there. I'm getting there. I'm so much better than I was years ago when I was busy, stressed, and food obsessed all the time. I'm definitely not food obsessed anymore, but I do love food and I do love thinking about food still. I do. I think I would be deprived if someone said I could never eat bananas, because like bananas get such a bad rep anyway. Like, oh, they're so starchy, they're so high carb, they're so high sugar. But like sometimes just like a banana, like it just is like the perfect food, like for me at least. So I would be really bummed if I just never.
Never had a banana.
Life would be really not worth living at that point.
I know where Lisa is retiring to. The tropics. She's going to retire to Costa Rica.
Surrounded by monkeys.
Yeah. So here's a question that I'm sure our listeners would love to know. Like, if you're trying to drop a couple pounds, how do you go about doing it without feeling deprived? Yeah.
Well, I dropped a couple this morning.
Be careful. Warning.
Yeah, I had a little touch of food poisoning. So that's a quick and easy way to drop weight very quickly. But beyond that, I think just increasing water for me, although I haven't really had to drop any weight in so long. I don't even remember how I think how I used to do it was take out starch, right? To lose weight, take out starches and then just drink a lot of water. But I don't remember. It's really been a long time.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't really ever feel like I want to drop a few pounds. I don't own a scale, so I wouldn't know if I dropped a few pounds. But
that's so good. That's so good that you don't own a scale. I don't own one either. Lisa?
I have one, but I rarely use it.
Throw it out.
Yeah. Well, Stuart uses it sometimes, but I'm not obsessed with the scale. It's not my indicator.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes at the gym I'll weigh myself out of curiosity, but that's few and far between. Yeah, I think, but sometimes I'll notice that, especially with having babies, right? Like my body went through a lot of changes and then, I got thinner again and then I got pregnant again. You're kind of doing this. So I'll notice that I want to maybe change the shape or composition of my body. And my go-to for that is actually one thing that really helps is making sure that I am having proper bowel movements. Andrea obviously having no problem with that today, because if there's constipation, there's bloating happening, that can feel like, you're fat, quote unquote, but it's not really, it's just everything's getting all puffed up in there. When I'm having like regular bowel movements, really smooth digestion, everything feels a lot tighter in the middle.
Yeah, well, as the only woman in this group who has officially just recently gone through menopause, I will tell you, you're going to kiss that shit goodbye. Because everything kind of goes like, yeah. So you're going to have to dig into the old files and see what worked. But I will say it's hard. It's really hard as we get older. And like, it's tough because for people out there, I know what the struggle is. I see it with my clients. I know how hard it is for myself, even because you're already eating healthy. You're already doing the right things. And then you really do have to start noticing your portions. And that's kind of a drag, right? And so, yeah, but I think the key is that when you are eating healthy foods and you love them, you don't feel deprived. And that's the beauty in this whole thing. Whereas we were grown up to think if I lose weight, I have to not eat anything I've ever loved. And that's a huge shift. And it's a recent shift, I think, in the whole nutrition world, which is really good. What do you guys think about, something like Whole30? Is that considered deprivation to you?
That's a tough one. I think that the heart of Whole30 is really in a good place. And I think some people can do well with structure for small periods of time. So there's a lot of good stuff going for it. But I mean, we're cutting out entire categories of food that the human body is meant to be eating. Sorry, it's true. I have a hard time with it. I think it's too restrictive and I think it's too strict in the fact there's a rule, right? Like if you mess up or if you give in and you eat that, whatever, you have to start all over. And I think that's tough. Like that doesn't do good things to the psyche, in my opinion.
Well, I've never done the Whole30, but I know people that have. And it seems to me too strict, just like any of those diets that come out, whether it's paleo or keto or this one or that one, they're restrictive. And I don't think that they work in the long run. I think that in the short term, you'll lose some weight. But then if you haven't changed your eating behaviors, if you haven't changed your ideas around food, if you haven't changed what really makes you crave or not crave, I think that it's literally just another one of those things that you hop on and you hop off and you hop on. And you're going to keep yo-yoing back and forth to get on a diet, to lose the weight, to get on. And then it comes back because nothing else was changed. So there's much more to retaining an ideal weight than just what you eat. There's so much more.
I think those are great points. I actually have not done Whole30 either, but I have done, like no modified versions of it that I've run myself. And I have to say a number of my clients have done Whole30, and it's been amazing for them because it's a huge reset. It's a huge aha about what they miss, and they are cravings. They start realizing that they were really not tasting things like the way they should be because they were eating too much sugar. So I'm a fan. I'm going to just say I am a fan of that. And I think that what I see is they're not feeling deprived at the end. It's overall been a really positive thing. So just going to the other side of the coin there. But I'm really curious to hear what Mary Bray has to say, because she's a weight loss expert and the author of the best-selling book, The Swiss Chocolate Diet. I know. I'm like, are we going to tell her that we're not the square of chocolate girls? We're the rectangle of chocolate girls.
The book is made out of chocolate, and when you're done reading it, you just eat it.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about Mary. She's originally from Minneapolis and spent 23 years in the Swiss Alps, where she helped over 27,000 women from all over the world lose weight fast and keep it off for good. Mary's work has been recognized by the world's leading experts, including Deepak Chopra, Dr. David Axelrod, and more, making her one of the most sought-after weight loss experts for professional women with busy family lives. We are lucky today. The author of 6 books, Mary's work is regularly featured in the media internationally. Through her books and coaching programs, Mary helps women achieve lasting transformation without feeling deprived or restricted. I'm sure that you're going to be super excited to hear what Mary has to say, as I know we are as well. And after the break, she'll be joining us. But in the meantime, I'd like you to post any questions that you have on Facebook, because we'll try to get to as many as we can. And after the show, or even right now, hop on to iTunes and write us a quick review. We would really appreciate getting the word out. So thanks, and stay tuned. We will be back shortly with Mary.
All clear.
Thank you.
Margaret said, check out the Bristol chart.
Yeah,
chart. Yeah, my chart this morning is all about food poisoning.
Hi, Mary.
No. Oh, man.
Hi, Mary.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi. Oh, thank you for having me.
Thank you
thanks
for
for coming
joining
in.
us.
There you go. Now we can see your whole face. In the beginning,
Yeah.
it was just
Great.
Just your nose.
Okay. Oh,
No,
good.
you're good.
I'm so glad to be here, and I've been listening to everything that you're saying.
Mary, I'm going to be doing the first part of the interview, and of course, Lisa and Michelle are going to interject. And then around the 3 minutes mark, we're going to just go to a break. We have some giveaways that we have, and we're going to go to a break, but we're going to keep you rolling into the third segment because we know that you have a lot of wisdom. You've helped a lot of people reclaim their ideal weight. So we're really excited to have you.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here.
Mary, where are you joining us from?
Well, I'm in Minneapolis, and I have come back from Switzerland once again. I am sometimes in Switzerland, sometimes in the States, and that's what I've been doing back and forth with this weight loss program for, 23 years in Switzerland, and now I've been back 5 years to the States to be with my family, which is grandchildren and sons and wives and all of that.
Oh,
Nice.
terrific.
Sounds delicious.
Actually, I have a client right now who's in Switzerland, and with all different ingredients, she's like, I don't know where to get that. I can't get that here. We've been working around it.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
different. I guess there's not like a Whole Foods on every corner like we have here.
Oh, you are right. Not at all. Not at all. They are not thinking as much in those terms. I mean, they want
Alrighty, here we go.
But not like here.
You're listening to Andrea Beeman, Lisa Lutan, and Michelle Fennighaus with Healthy View Radio. Do you have a question or comment for the show? Please call us right now at 1-866-472-5792. That's 1-866-472-5792. Or send us an email from our Voice America radio page. You'll find connections to reach any of the hosts there. Now, back to Healthy View Radio.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Healthy View Radio, the place where you never get deprived of the information you need to have the best life ever. I'm Andrea Beeman, and I'm here with my swashbuckling co-hosts, Michelle Fennighaus and Lisa Lutan, because we are the Musketeers. What are we?
Charlie's Angels.
Oh, Charlie's Angels. That's right. And today's topic that we're covering is weight loss without deprivation. And we have on the show Mary Bray to help us navigate this heavy topic. Mary is a weight loss expert and author of the best-selling book, The Swiss Chocolate Diet. She is known as the weight loss life changer, who has mentored more than 27,000 men and women to lose the weight that they've been struggling to get rid of. And that's a lot of people, and that's a lot of weight. So welcome to the show, Mary.
Thank you so much. So glad to be here. I just love to talk about how you don't have to be deprived.
Oh, that's good.
Bring it on.
I still hold the passion for that, to try and tell everybody those old deprivation diets have really got to go forever.
That's the truth.
They never worked and never will.
That's the truth. And before we get started in all of this great information that you're going to share, we like to share with the audience you as a human being. And we want to know, what did you have for breakfast today?
What did I have?
Yeah, you, the weight loss mentor.
Yeah, okay. I had 2 eggs.
Delicious.
And a piece of toast and a couple of chunks of pineapple. And that's it.
That sounds yummy.
With coffee. Sure.
And then what is the number one thing that you do every day that has the greatest impact on your life?
Relax and meditate.
Mm-hmm.
And in that time, every day, I make a decision of what's going to happen today. Am I going to follow a plan that I know works, or am I not going to? And that's a clear decision. So when I was losing weight, I weighed close to 200 pounds myself. And I was learning with Deepak Chopra and doctors in Houston that part of this weight loss dilemma is our old habits and what we think. And part of that thinking is that we can't lose all the weight we want to lose. So if we think we can't, and we don't, and we give up. And meanwhile, we're multitaskers. We've got stress with our families, with our work, with our busyness, with our multitasking, with our every day. It's almost like too much. So we've got our parents to take care of. We've got our children to take care of. And then we've got our bosses to take care of. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So we end up putting ourselves last. Then we're so tired, sometimes we just grab something to eat and fall in bed. So what I learned was that there has to be a time in the day, any time that works for you and me, where we reconnect with ourselves. Or we'll forget about ourselves. Or we'll put ourselves last. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And then we hear all this propaganda. no carbs, no fat, no sugar. And we go, oh no, I can't even think about it. I will not think about it because I don't want to be starving or struggling on some diet. Right. So, but if I can, I'd love to back up a little bit and tell you what I found out that works.
Well, we're going to get to that.
All right.
First, we got to give them little bites, little bits of things.
Okay. All right. I'm ready.
So you weren't always living at your ideal weight. As a matter of fact, you struggled with your weight for many years. So what happened at 46 years old that shifted your struggle?
Right. Well, I had this history where I was going to be a flight attendant and they said, well, you're a really nice person, but you're too fat.
Oh.
So, right. And so I did diet pills and I did, awful things to my body to try and lose the weight. Well, I realized that wasn't going to work, but I did get a job to be a flight attendant, but we had to weigh only 130 pounds in those years. So I finally gained the weight back and got grounded. And then I ended up getting married, having 3 kids, and gained 45 pounds instead of 25 pounds. And then I just gave up on every diet. The Dr. Stillman's at the time, the cabbage soup, the 900 calories, the 700 calories. And then came out the whole no fat and no carbs and no sugar. And well, I was working in a clinic with Dr. Axelrod, and I said, what about this mind and body connection? We were doing biofeedback to manage stress. Okay, and so he said, well, of course, you can lose weight with the combination of the mind and the body. In other words, the old beliefs, I can't lose weight, can be gotten rid of with relaxation every day. Okay, so he said, what do you want for a body? And I said, well, I don't know. I just would like to lose 10 pounds or 15 pounds. And he said, no, what do you really want? And I said, Calvin Klein jeans, size 10. And I want to wear them to the Texas rodeo. Do you think that's possible? And he said, of course it's possible. You know what that meant? That meant, even though I didn't think I could do that, this guy believed in me. And I said, tell me how, because I haven't been able to do it. And he said, okay, let's go and relax in the biofeedback room. We did that. He said, okay, imagine yourself as if you already have those Calvin Klein jeans on your body, and make a vision as if you have that already done. Well, there came a feeling inside of me when I found that visualization, and all of a sudden I went, oh, I have to do this. It's so important. Then he said, make a decision to have that body. I said, just like that? And he said, yes. And you make the same decision every single day while you are relaxing, while you are with yourself, asking yourself, well, what do I really want? How important is it? Am I ready finally to learn how to get this body? And we hadn't even mentioned food yet, but I'll tell you about the food as soon as you want to know.
All right, this is great because we have someone on this panel right now who has a belief system that says that once you reach menopause and over.
Right. Right.
So what advice do you give our swashbuckling co-host, Lisa, about her thought process, her belief system that she can't lose the weight or that she's going to be pudgy around the middle?
Right. I get it. I understand what you're saying. Those old beliefs can be changed. I mean, they're just old beliefs. Really, I really mean that. And if you would say to yourself, I really want what I want, which was, I told you, Calvin Klein jeans, white shorts, to wear in Minnesota in the summer, right? Or in Switzerland. And I never thought I could wear white shorts. I had this boulder butt that I would have never worn white shorts. But when I visualized that, I realized how much fun that would be, both the Calvin Klein jeans and the white shorts. So in focusing on what I wanted, I wasn't focusing on the thought, I can't do that. I'll never get into those jeans. That old stinking thinking is what I call it.
Stinking thinking.
Really, because it has no relevance on what you want to achieve. It's just old thinking.
Yeah.
That I know for sure.
Yeah.
So,
go ahead.
When you begin the program, when you begin to lose the weight because you've said, I'm going to do this, and you learn how much you can really eat and still lose weight, it's a sigh of relief. Oh, well, before I thought I couldn't lose weight because of menopause, and now, well, okay, forget that, because now I'm losing weight. You see how that can work? Right. Well, and another thing, when the Swiss were coming to me, because I'd lost 60 pounds, and when I lost 60 pounds, I had this idea, maybe I can teach people how to lose weight because it worked for me. Maybe it would work for everybody. So long story short, I got this training program that I was in charge of. I wrote that book, the first book that I wrote about weight loss in Switzerland. The hardest part was for me to learn the German language. That was much harder than losing the weight. But anyway, right. But the Swiss came to me and they were apprehensive, skeptical. What about this American woman who speaks this awful German? And why are we going to believe in her? And the first question they asked me was, do I have to give up my chocolate? They are really addicted to Swiss chocolate. You can imagine why. They've been raised on it. And they thought they couldn't have it. And all of a sudden I said, you don't have to give it up. In fact, you need to eat some every day. And I said to them, but we'll make a deal. You eat what I say by handfuls, and then like handfuls of vegetables and fruits. Right. And then I'll tell you how much chocolate you can eat, which is like fingers full. And they thought that was kind of cute, but they didn't know if they could believe it because they had only been also in deprivation, starving, struggling, yo-yo, because they thought they couldn't eat either, especially chocolate. So, but I got to tell you about Krista. She came to me and she said, really, can I eat chocolate every day? I said, absolutely. Well, she weighed 300 pounds. I promise. And I said, what do you want for a body? And she said, well, I saw a bikini in the Vogue magazine. And I said, order it in a size medium. And you know what? She did. And I said, when you are in that, you see, I believed in her. I want you to get the undercurrent. So I said, when you are in your bikini, you and I will go together to California and walk on the beach. Okay, that began. Every day she had a chocolate pudding that she ate in a little bowl as her reward because she loved it so much. Every single day she lost in 11 months 100 pounds. Well, that's 10 pounds a month. That certainly is possible if you don't quit. You know what I mean? And so I said after that, wow, maybe I can see all kinds of people and they could also lose the weight. Well, 20 some years later, I had written 6 books about weight loss. One was about feeling guilty if you had a slip backwards. Oh, and people who are losing weight, if they have a slip, they quit because of the guilt. And guilt means punishment, right? So if they felt like they had to punish themselves, they would gain the weight back. That's the real punishment, right? You get what I mean?
That's correct. That's good advice. Now, I have a quick question for you because we're going to go to break in just a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
When you're dealing with weight loss, do you find that you have more male or more female clients that you're working with?
Female. Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Well, what I said before, moms and women, they do everything. And then they try to take time for themselves and they go, oh, I can't even think about losing weight. It's just one more thing. So they don't take it on. They don't have time. Plus, they don't think they can, and so they skip it.
Yeah.
And inside is that little hope. Well, I wish I could lose weight, but I've tried everything and I can't. Look at that. That's just that old stinking thinking.
Stinking thinking.
Right.
I like that. It reminds me of Florence Scovel Shinn's book, The Game of Life and How to Play It, which is an old one from the 1930s.
All right. All right.
But it's great. And you said earlier, we got to take time for ourselves. And yes, if the moms don't take the time for themselves in the beginning of their day, they're going to lose who they are. They're going to lose it all.
Well, you are so right.
And I'm not even a mom.
Yeah, I understand. Me too. And I'm so glad you said that.
Well, actually, Mary, hold on to that thought because we got to take a break. And when we come back, we want you to share your top secrets to weight loss with us. But before we go to break, I want to let everyone know about an amazing giveaway that we have for you guys and gals. And when I say guys, I mean guy. One guy, Mark Kirilop. He's our only male fan, and he shows up every week. And he's probably not here this week, right? The one week that we're shouting him out to hang out with us, ladies. So give him some props.
Yay, Mark!
So our amazing giveaway is from our new sponsor, Mountain Rose Herbs, who we all love, and they've given us some very special gifts to share with you. You can go to healthyviewradio.com/giveaway and enter to win garlic pepper, grilling herbs, and pickling spice. I mean, all this stuff is amazing, especially for summer. Totally yum. And of course, I'm sorry. Our radio guys, like, what about me? All right, you're our guy too. So for those of you that want to enter the giveaway, you get this free stuff. Go to healthyviewradio.com/giveaway and enter your name. It's pretty easy. And don't go away. We will be right back after the break with Secrets to Weight Loss with Mary Bray.
All clear.
Yes, A-Rod. Didn't mean to leave you out there.
Mary, we're still on Facebook Live, even though we're in break on the radio. So there's still people watching you right now.
Oh, and Mark's on. Mark's here.
Hi, Mark.
Yeah, Mark's been here the whole time. I saw him.
Our only male fan. Any other guy comes here, they're like, this is way too much estrogen. I can't.
They're out. So we've talked about a lot of good stuff so far, Mary. Well, I think in this third segment we want to get down to brass tacks and give our listeners some practical, doable items, something that they can try. Okay.
Yeah, what they should actually eat. I would love to hear.
Well, we know what you have to do, Lisa.
What? Ditch the stink. You know what? I feel amazing. I just have to say, I feel a little guilty because I want to lose 3 pounds, and that's just not fair to the world. That's just not nice.
Well, it's 3 pounds that you don't want anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Get some food poisoning like I did yesterday. 3
Yeah.
pounds in one day.
But you know what, Mary? Actually, this is something you can speak to. Like sometimes, losing that 5 pounds is just as hard as losing the 50 pounds,
Or
for some
harder.
or harder.
Mm.
That's an old thought.
Ooh, stinking.
Here we go, ladies.
Ugh.
You're listening to Andrea Beeman, Lisa Lutan, and Michelle Fennighaus with Healthy View Radio. Do you have a question or comment for the show? Please call us right now at 1-866-472-5792. That's 1-866-472-5792. Or send us an email from our Voice America radio page. You'll find connections to reach any of the hosts there. Now, back to Healthy View Radio.
Welcome back to Healthy View Radio. Today we are talking about weight loss and stinking thinking with our guest, Marywell Bray. So Marywell, just to pick up from where we left off, our listeners, everybody, we all hear so much about weight loss. Eat this, don't eat that, drink this shake. So we would love to hear, let's say, your top 3 recommendations for what should we be eating, thinking, doing during the day to lose weight.
Great. Thanks for asking. Oh, I just love to tell you. So first of all, what I want to say is we are used to thinking what we can't have. That stops us right there. We don't want to think about what we can't have because there's nothing that we can't have. It's just stuck here. Okay. So if we were thinking about what can I have today, and I want to know that for sure because I want to make a plan today for me. I don't care what anybody else says. I'm going to eat what I like today, and I'm going to put that inside of my plan, inside of myself today in a relaxation, and then I'm going to do that. So what I know for sure, and I asked several doctors, how much can we eat and still lose weight so that we're full and satisfied and we're not deprived? We're not suffering and not saying, this diet doesn't work. Okay, so what they have all said is we need handfuls of vegetables. And this is a new learning. Because you remember when we were little kids, mom said, eat your vegetables, eat your vegetables. And so maybe there was one stick of asparagus there and we went, ah. Or there was a little bit of spinach and we went, So over the course of a lifetime, we didn't eat like the Asians do. We didn't eat enough vegetables. Okay, that's one thing. So what I prescribe is vegetables by the handfuls. And I do offer a 3-month course so that if you, in fact, are with yourself, reconnected, you want that body so much, like I said about the Calvin Klein jeans or about the 3 pounds, you're going to make a decision. I'm going to do this today, and I'm going to eat all of what is prescribed. I'm going to eat handfuls of fruits. I'm going to eat carbs for sure. Yes, I am going to eat until I am satisfied, you guys. I mean, isn't that the point? And if I want a chocolate, a finger or 2 full of chocolate every day, or if I want a glass of wine, or for me, it was like potato chips, like 6 a day kept me. Okay, that was my craving. You have cravings too, but the basic course are the handfuls of vegetables, fruits, carbs, and protein, some fat, even some sugar. If you just can't stand your coffee without sugar, have it, but not deprive yourself, for the reason that if you are depriving yourself, you're going to quit. It's not sustainable because you're not satisfied. And also, I want to say you don't have to be perfect. So, like, for example, I'll give you a concrete example. In the 4th week of the class that I offered in Switzerland for 20 some years, the people would come to me sometimes and they'd say, oh, I had an old habit weekend. And I was like, so? And they were like, right. And so I don't think I lost any weight. And I'm like, okay, fine. So here's the trick. If you have had an old habit weekend, on Monday, you certainly don't stand on the scale. What? I mean, because then comes the guilt, then comes the, oh, well, this isn't working, right? The old thoughts. Well, maybe it's not possible. Oh, I feel so alone. All of that stuff, all of that old stuff. But if you've had an old habit weekend and you haven't eaten all of the food, you've eaten too little, right? I really mean that. Too little to have it all metabolizing, or you've done a yo-yo or even a mini yo-yo. On Monday morning, in your relaxation, you say to yourself, I accept myself today, right now. I didn't lose any weight probably over the weekend. I'm really not sure, but I'm not going to stand on the scale. I'm going to go back to knowing what I want. And today, only, I'm going to follow the plan. I'm going to make that decision, which you can tell that means you're with yourself again. Not with guilt, not with feeling like it's not possible, but saying, I'm going to go on now because Mary said, I will lose 10 pounds in a month. Really? So if I quit, duh, I'm not going to be able to do that. So I'm going to see myself through today, even though I wasn't perfect on the weekend, anywhere near perfect. And in the next 3 or 4 days, with eating the handfuls as prescribed, and I tell you exactly how many handfuls, no more difficult than that. Because you're not going to measure, you're not going to count calories, nothing. And you can get them wherever you want. If you want to get them at Whole Foods or someplace, it's your choice. Just eat it all and not less. I really mean that. And so the key is that every day you stay with yourself. Really. And in 3 or 4 days, any pounds that you didn't lose are gone. And then stand on the scale if you want to. I didn't even have a scale. I was scalophobic. I was so afraid of the scale because I was so afraid that I couldn't lose the weight that I just said, I'm not going to stand on the scale. Even if I should have to go to the doctor, they would say, would you like to stand on the scale? And I'd say, no.
So, Mary, I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to play devil's advocate for just a second because I hear this from many women. No, I hear this from many women, and I can relate to parts of this myself. Like, okay, we eat super healthy, tons of vegetables, we meditate, we exercise, we do all these things, we're kind, we have self-love, we're doing all the right things, and we're healthy, we're strong, we feel good, but the weight just stays the same. So what would you say, and I see this with so many women, what would you say to all these women?
I would say there is a learning about exactly what's going to burn. I mean, it's scientific. It's what will go through your system in 24 hours so that it's all in the toilet the next day. And it's good food that you've been eating, but you don't stand on the scale every day, maybe every 3 or 4 days, maybe once a week. And you will see and feel this is working. Now, hey, That success drives your motivational bus. And you say, well, it worked last week. I'm going to do it again this week because
so wait, time
it's
out. So the
working.
question, so you're saying that in the actual food that goes through your body, I'm just trying to pinpoint the answer to that question. Are you saying in your program you say specific foods
Absolutely.
in addition to the vegetables?
Okay, I say.
So you are putting people on a specific plan.
The plan, I'll try to be as simple as I can, because that's what I mean to do. The plan is whatever vegetables you like, whatever fruits you like, whatever carbohydrates you like, whatever protein you like, is all your choice. Then what I say is the handfuls in the amount of vegetables, like for example, 4 handfuls of vegetables a day would be one example. A certain amount of protein, which would be, like a hunk of chicken and, chicken breast and a couple of eggs, right? And a piece of meat of the kind that you like. Or if you don't have meat, then eat the protein in the form that you want. Okay, then in the carbohydrates, you want bread, you want
cake,
rice,
frosting.
You want pasta?
No.
Okay, so there's an amount in combination with the vegetables and the fruits and the protein and the fat and every category that will burn right through your system when it's eaten all in one day, which makes sense. Come on,
okay, Mary, thank you for spelling it out for us a little more specifically there. I think we're going to have to direct our listeners to your website to get more information because we're running out of time.
Please.
Can you share your URL with us?
Oh, yes. Do you want to know what that is? It's very simple. It's marywell.com. MARYWELL.com.
Terrific. Thank you so much for being with us today, Marywell.
Thank you for asking.
Thanks, Mary. Great to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you so much.
All righty. So, you guys, what are your big takeaways from today's show?
So I love Mary's point about we have to actually visualize it and believe it, because I think I love her stinking thinking that when we do with any goal, whether it's weight loss or anything else in our life, when we actually visualize it and see it, we have a much better chance of making it happen. So that's a highlight, I think, for me today.
Yeah, I've had a couple of highlights, and I saw that I think Margaret posted on the Facebook feed, she's like, Mike Dooley, thoughts are things. So that's a good one as well, because our thoughts are things. And if you think I can't do this and I can't do that and I can't lose the 3 pounds, and if you believe that, then you can't do it. It's not going to happen. So, I love that as well. I love that you said you have to put yourself into your life and put yourself first, right? Really make time for that space. And another thing that I loved was, I think that we should have Lisa experiment with eating frosting every single day.
Finger pulls.
A little bit of frosting. And let's see if that 3 pounds comes off. Or if, she goes.
I'd rather do the bananas,
Well, one thing that I learned today about weight loss is unwavering enthusiasm seems to be a key to what Marywell is bringing to her clients and everyone she works with, because she certainly brought it today for us. So I want to take some of that unwavering enthusiasm with me to everything that I'm doing today. And I also want to thank Carol, just to segue here for a second. Carol left us a 5-star review on iTunes, and she wrote, "Love listening to these energetic ladies each week. So much great information. There's always something valuable to take away." Carol, we love sharing our energy with you. So thanks for giving some back to us. And for all of our listeners, remember we're giving away a spicy summer prize pack from Mountain Rose Herbs. You can win some gorgeous organic spice blends at healthyviewradio.com/giveaway. And I mean, what else do you have to do right now? The show's over. So head on over to healthyviewradio.com/giveaway, and we will see you next week. Take care, everybody.
Bye everybody.
All clear.